Hello, welcome to Neuro-Dive, our podcast where we deep dive a subject every episode. Today's episode, we are going to cover Orientalisms. Oriental, OG term, post-colonial, Techno-Orientalism, and Auto-Orientalism. And our guest today is Daniel Chavez Crook.
Hello.
Daniel is a talented musician, composer, and we're really happy to have him on. He's like into AMSR.
I'm so excited. I like ASMR.
He's actually like...
I told Fenzi earlier this week that I listened to mechanical keyboard ASMR, and now they're just like bothering me about it. I got a random text today or yesterday about just like a 8-hour long like ASMR mechanical keyboard video.
Oh, excuse me. It also has rain. It's rain sound.
And rain, yeah. And rain. Which is like kind of crazy because like why would someone be typing
to rain?
Well, actually that's
in
not,
the rain?
That's not that crazy. But
typing in the rain sounds like an 80s
but
song.
You wouldn't want your mechanical keyboard to like get fucked up. I can cuss, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyways.
We actually encourage cursing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fucking
Love cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
So we're going to start off with talking about regular Orientalism. Okay, so this is Orientalism coined by Edward Said, 1978. Post-colonial foundations in humanities, acknowledging proliferation of exoticized images of Eastern cultures, often dehumanizing, patronizing, overly sexualizing, and demeaning. So yeah, the dehumanizing.
So like,
yeah.
Okay, can I
Yeah.
like guess like an example of that? Is it like just just stereotypes that you like see in like media and stuff? Or like, even if you see it like in person, like the stereotype of, you said, did you say something about sexualizing?
Yeah,
or whatever?
overly
so like
sexualizing.
the stereotypical, like I don't know, like I was watching 90 Day Fiancé recently, and like,
Oh yeah, we love to talk about dating shows on this podcast.
Yeah.
great, perfect,
Yeah, we talked
So-
about Love on the Spectrum before.
nice.
Okay.
So like on 90 Day Fiancé, there's a lot of like Filipino women, young Filipino
There
women, and
are.
like older white men. right?
Yes.
Oh.
So is that like an example?
Yes,
Okay.
totally.
Yes, that's
Oh
a
my
great
gosh,
example.
you nailed that
I'm
one.
so smart. I
Wow.
went to art school.
Yeah.
I'm so smart. I know real life things.
Dude, those Filipino ladies on that show, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
And you know
Yeah.
what? Good for them.
Mhm.
I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
As a
Get
Filipino,
it,
I'm
yeah.
so fucked. Like,
Mhm.
as long as they're not getting like physically harmed,
Oh, right,
of
right, right,
course.
right,
right.
And
No.
like,
I
What
feel
a-
they're like
No.
I
whipping
feel
that
like-
whip.
yeah, I feel like they're the ones who are like in fucking control.
Oh yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
Give me that
this
money.
isn't the fucking house that you said I was gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna leave.
I'm gonna
you.
go back.
Yeah. Fuck this.
You
I'm
know, I
going
have like
back
a
home.
big family and they love me, and I
Yeah.
could just go there at any fucking minute.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh my god, please don't go.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I'll get you the bigger house."
Yeah. So okay, cool. That's an example.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, one of my favorite silent films was with Anna May Wong.
Yes, Anime Wong.
Yes, Anna May Wong.
Our icon.
It was like Piccadilly, and I
Yeah.
loved it. And it's the classic dragon lady
I see.
mistress.
Yeah.
And that was a huge propaganda campaign
Mhm.
during the Chinese Exclusion Act.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Remind me what that was.
Yeah. So the Chinese Exclusion Act was actually Mexicans came over through California, like in Southern California area.
Mm.
There was like a large population of laborers that were Mexican and, immigrants coming from the East
Mhm.
and then making their way west. So everybody was mining for gold and building railroads.
I see.
Yeah, the industrialization of the West. So the Chinese came, in hopes of also prospering, and they worked harder for less money.
Mm-hmm.
And a huge campaign started against them. and it worked. It got so far that they completely like illegalized the immigration of Chinese people, and it was
Who
the Chinese
started that
Exclusion Act.
that campaign against them? Like the government or something?
Yeah.
Of
Like,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't know this until like a few years ago, but in Los Angeles area, a lot of Chinatowns were burned down to the ground and lynched, and the people were lynched.
Yeah. The dark
Jesus.
history of
Mhm.
it. And a lot
Yeah.
of people, and even like Chinese railroad workers, their bodies physically buried in the, like, with the railroads. Like,
Yeah.
their body is like, is, that's what we don't know. That's what we don't learn in schools.
Yeah, because
that they died.
I feel like that's the thing too. Like, I feel like this was definitely like just maybe a little paragraph in school.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
it was,
even
like-
remember learning it
I
in
don't
school.
remember.
No,
learning it.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't even know if it was a paragraph where I just like didn't even
Well,
know about it.
There's also no markers in the city. Like you go to Chinatown, or I think it's around where the Hall of Justice is now, which is close to Chinatown, is where the lynchings happened.
Like in LA.
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
Yes. Even in Pasadena, there used to be a historic Chinatown that was completely burned to the ground.
Mhm.
And there's no there's no
You'd never
markers
know.
or anything even here. Yeah. So
How did you find this out? Like,
I started honestly I can't even remember. I just started, oh my god, I think it started with Ghost Tour. Like a ghost tour. like a ghost tour in Chinatown.
Oh my
I
god.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I got really interested in Los Angeles history and the Chinese community, and it just started kind of like unraveling. And then I found a really good PBS documentary on the Chinese Exclusion Act.
Oh, wow.
What the
I
fuck?
would love
Yeah.
to watch that.
Yeah,
That's
Wow.
crazy.
it's really crazy, and
Wow.
that's when I realized. And I was like, I didn't even know that they were literally lynched.
Mm.
Y'all aren't from LA, are you? Or are you?
I'm from LA.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Like as growing up in LA and going to like school here, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Same. I didn't know.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, even if it was part of like my education at some fucking point, like it wasn't even like a whole chapter.
Mhm.
And it's crazy that it had to take someone like you, like not even from someone from LA, going into a fucking haunted tour, ghost hunting,
Yeah,
Ghostbusters bullshit.
so fun.
Yeah.
It was so. I didn't even know that. Did you know that the Chinatown in LA used to be Little Italy?
No.
Yeah, with
I think-
mobsters.
I think I know that part. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Mhm.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
Back
like
in the
sleeping
day.
under a rock.
Mhm.
I didn't.
like legit,
Yeah,
like
legit.
Little
Yeah,
Italy. It was Little
it was
Italy.
Actually,
I didn't get the LA
mob-
historytism.
mob. Yeah, it's actually like a
the Chinatown Ghost Tour.
Mhm.
Wait, now I want to go on it.
You should. They meet at this really great Chinese food restaurant,
What is it called?
and I can't remember.
Great.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
Broadway
Okay.
cuisine.
Okay.
Give us a
shout out.
plug.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out Chinatown.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Chinatown.
I love, honestly, like Chinatown is my favorite part of LA.
Oh yeah, you worked in Chinatown, right?
Yeah, I work at La Cita, the Filipino restaurant,
Yeah.
and yeah, Chinatown, like the community Chinatown is amazing. And again, not to bring it up again, but like times that we're living in now is affecting a lot of businesses in Chinatown.
No, we should bring it up.
should
But
bring it
yeah,
and
yeah.
and it's just, yeah, it's like probably every mom and pop in Chinatown are like owned by immigrants or children of immigrants.
Mhm.
La Cita is owned by like first gen Filipinos and stuff, and like,
Are you first gen?
yeah, I'm first gen. Yeah. And
I
wait,
think you- are
first
you-
gen is
You're the first generation born here.
here.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
first gen too.
Like me and my brother,
Yeah.
like my older brother. He's like he's not first. No, wait, we're both first gen.
Yeah, you're both. Were your parents born here?
No.
Then you're first
Yeah.
Okay.
generation.
It's not like the eldest is first gen,
No.
the second is second gen.
That's so
right?
autistic.
Yeah.
I know. Again,
You're
I didn't get
Wait,
the
what's the cue?
I didn't get the useful autism. I got the video game Magic the Gathering autism. But yeah, okay, cool. Orientalism,
Yeah.
gnarly.
Yeah. I think well the term was it was coined in 1978. So it was helpful. It kind of radicalized the humanities at that time because there wasn't a language to describe what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like this pivotal moment in academia where there was a word,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there was like a philosophical context
Gotcha.
or cultural,
Yeah.
you know, context to view this through. And some people still argued against it.
Of
you
course.
know, like that's, you know, I guess now that's would be written off as woke, the woke view.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a, you might have said this earlier and I just didn't pay attention, but is there like a modern day like term?
No, I mean it's still this. You know what's really sad is it's the same term.
Mm-hmm.
Like we haven't really grown from it.
yeah.
Which is interesting, right? To some people, the term, or maybe to most people, right? Like the term or the word Oriental is kind of like fucked up.
Ooh, should we
Right?
do a
Yes.
little poll here? Like, should we? No.
Oh,
The
poll?
three of us. Like, is that a bad word? Orientalism.
In what way?
Just
the
the
Like,
word
okay.
Oriental. Is that an offensive terminology? You first.
When somebody says an Oriental, yeah. If it's an Oriental rug, no.
yeah, like if some, yeah, I think it's offensive.
Would
Me
you
too.
would you not say Oriental rug?
I guess like I keep
Oh,
cutting-
shit.
I keep
Okay,
cutting.
I
you
grew up in
No, no,
I
no,
grew up
no,
in
no.
Texas.
No. I feel like once
The
again.
pause like said
Yeah,
a lot about.
I feel like
our-
I feel like Oriental. Of course, it's called an Oriental rug, right? But considering where that word came from and the time that someone called it an Oriental rug, you know, there's history behind that.
Okay, so we don't say Oriental rug.
No, it is okay. That's where I feel like once again the word is outdated. Is when we say there's no second name for Orientalism or Oriental. Like we never came up with like an updated name for it.
yeah, I
That's-
just like never knew 100% if that was like a fucked up term or like I feel like it is like a part of like I do think it might because like
I guess it just sounds bad.
yeah, it sounds fucking terrible.
Oriental.
Yeah,
It just sounds
like,
bad.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I see like when I, you know, you said earlier I'm a musician, so when I'm on tour and I see like clearly like Chinese restaurant or like a hole in the wall called like Oriental blah blah blah.
Express.
Oriental, yeah. There's
That's a restaurant like that,
there's
yeah.
a lot of Oriental Expresses,
It's everywhere. Yeah.
and like, yeah, I just like you know I'm not sure if like what the correct political.
Okay, I feel like I now think that there's not a great way to say Oriental. I changed my mind.
There's no.
It doesn't sound good.
But
It
also,
doesn't
it's
at all.
sound
not.
good. You
It's
could
no,
just say
I could
like
say-
Asian rug.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
you can say
maybe try work a little harder
To know
and say
actually
if
where
that's
it's
a Korean
from.
or
or Chinese rug
Yeah.
or whatever. Like it's the same thing calling it like a Persian rug. Like I don't
Right.
think that's bad.
No, I think it's
well, people
Right?
say Persian rug, Moroccan rug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's like the
That's
like
actually the
That's where it's
rewrite.
from.
you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
No, exactly.
okay, all right.
I think essentially we're saying Orientalism is basically a negative word because it was used to create otherness between a group of people.
Okay, so when we talk about Orientalism and context of the word the Orient, right? Like Oriental, Orient, it in its roots is embedded in colonialism and racism.
Yes.
I think that's pretty fair.
but that is correct.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually, yeah.
Yeah.
In my one sociology class I took in college.
Your woke agenda.
Yeah, my one
You mean your woke agenda class?
Yeah, race class. It was my race class gender class, sociology class.
Jesus.
Super woke, I guess, if you will. That
Yeah,
was also
they were
yeah.
just out to brain fake news.
that was also like 2014 too. So
I was gonna like bring up like so the root word from what Orientalism is from did it again? Like I might have forgotten my education because of all the drugs and alcohol I put in my system. But like, did it like pertain to a specific race or like culture? It did, right?
Mm-hmm. The Asian.
No, but like even more specific. Like, was it like?
No, it was literally the Orient.
Like, it was
like
just like the whole Asia, like all Asia.
The Asian continent.
Gotcha.
And I think there was like some other
mainly East Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a few. I think it's like a little bit of other areas too. I can be mistaken.
I guess like
but,
China. Yeah, I guess. Okay, so yeah, if you really wanted to get into the gritty of it, probably China, Korea, Japan. That is more the Orient, and then they had Indochina to cover like the southern southeast area.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes okay.
Yeah, so like Thailand and Laos and Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the French colonized Indochina.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, because.
But definitely the Orient could be used to describe all of it
as like a racial stereotype,
essentially.
Yeah. To treat all Asian people from the continent as a monolith and then call it Oriental.
Okay, I have like a dumb devil's advocate. I'm gonna pretend to be a bigot.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That sounds fun. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
What makes the Orient bad from or different from saying like, oh, this person's European?
Well, because European is a continent. It's a reference to the continent. And so that's why we can say Asian. But Oriental, the term the Orient is just tied to what Steph was saying, the othering.
Yeah.
So it has a connotation.
There's like a
the derogatory.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's
you hear
motive.
That bigot?
There's a motive to
I know there's a bigot out there like being like, well, what's the difference between that and European or some shit? And
Wait,
well, there you go.
Do y'all watch King of the Hill?
Oh, hell yeah.
I haven't watched in a very long time.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's incredible.
It's good, right? There's this one scene where, because they're in Arlington, Texas, and I grew up in Texas, and I used to hear all the time, "Are you Chinese or Japanese?" And they're like, "Are you Oriental? Are you Oriental?" And you're like, yeah.
Well, if it's in King of the Hill and they're joking about it, that's how you know that's probably, you know, like.
I mean,
and the guy's like, "No, I'm Laotian." And he's like, "Are you Chinese or Japanese?"
I mean, believe it or not, we got that here too. I grew up with that too.
You did?
Mm-hmm. I grew up with that. They're like, "Are you Chinese?"
Daniel did?
Japanese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, well, I grew up in Santa Clarita, which is like predominantly like
yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's literally
I love how we're like, ooh.
That's the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time when I was going to Catholic school, I was like the darkest kid in the whole school.
Oh, wow. And wait, there's Catholics in Santa Clarita?
Oh, 1,000%.
What? I thought they would be like Pentecostal or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's just
Catholics are everywhere.
Or like Episcopalian.
So no, they're
everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
But in high school, people thought I was like Indian.
Okay.
Which is I mean like Indian or
I'm
Thai
shocked.
or whatever. And it's crazy because like my name, like my full name, doesn't sound as like Filipino because like most Filipino names are like last names are very like Spanish. Right? Because Spain colonized the Philippines. So like my name like Crook, C-R-O, my last name C-R-O-O-K. And I'd go by like Daniel Crook, like in high school. Whenever like I raised my hand for like the first day of class, people would be like, "Are you adopted?"
Okay, so lots of Catholics in Santa Clarita, lots of stereotyping,
lots of racists,
lots of racists,
lots of Trump supporters.
Yeah,
but they didn't. But y'all didn't grow up with people saying Oriental, calling you Oriental, because I did.
I mean,
that's gnarly.
Yeah,
maybe that's why you didn't think that it was like bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was
because you were conditioned.
Yep.
And like it was normalized to you.
I knew it was
like
bad to
normal.
call me Oriental.
Yeah.
But you know, when it's just like you push it so far one way.
Right.
If you go just a little bit away from it,
Yeah.
that feels like okay when it's
Okay.
still really not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, I just settled on it. Fine. Okay. Can we just say Oriental for the rugs? You know, because you're basically constantly negotiating with the community,
Yeah, of course.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's different now is I think with like quote woke, I think younger people just said, no, we want to drastically move in this direction.
Mm,
And people have a really adverse reaction to it.
gotcha.
So, you know, for me, it was a slow game.
Yeah.
And you had to it's generational, right? Like
Mhm.
the people before my parents and their parents had to negotiate Black people being able to like fucking sit in the front of the bus. You know,
Mhm.
it's been a slow moving negotiation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think me being okay with the term Oriental for objects was a compromise.
Right.
Mm.
No, that makes sense.
So Techno-Orientalism. Okay, so this is kind of the timeline. Orientalism, 1978. That's when we start to really get an idea of how to describe this older post-colonial time.
Okay.
But then we go into the 80s, right? And that's when the Japanese started to go into hyper-capitalism and compete internationally. And that was
What
in
are
the
examples
auto-
of like that? Yeah.
the auto industry.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was huge. They were making really efficient cars.
Honda.
OG
Yeah.
Hondas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive a Honda.
I mean, same.
Yeah, I don't.
Get out of here.
We have a Subaru. Isn't Subaru Japanese?
Subaru, that's Japanese too. Yeah.
So
Yeah, even though they're not good to my people. So I don't know.
same,
Anyway,
same
that's
my
another
people as
conversation.
well.
Yeah.
I was like 2 years.
That's another conversation.
It's like, no.
That's auto. We could talk about Auto-Orientalism
Okay.
after that. But
Yeah.
okay, but
Okay.
for Techno-Orientalism,
all right.
this is more in the 80s when it was at the height of this kind of, it was almost fear mongering for Americans that everyone was going to lose their job to Japanese people. It happens consistently, right? Like we had the Chinese Exclusion Act. Everybody freaked out. They didn't allow any Chinese people to immigrate here, like 0.00%,
Mhm.
Mhm.
literally excluded. And then, fast forward, they're scared that the Japanese are going to take all the American jobs. And there's this really intense fear of East Asia hyper-industrializing. So it manifested into cyberpunk.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. So cyberpunk really has this history of being rooted in a Western view of the East.
Right. Like thus Neo Tokyo.
Exactly. But yeah, I think the Japanese are probably also commenting on their own culture, seeing like being scared themselves of their own hyper industrialization and where
yeah.
they're going. But you see Japanese characters in Akira and the original Ghost in the Shell,
Right.
where you don't see them in
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Mhm.
Yeah. You
Right.
only see this like huge futuristic billboard of, I don't like, do you remember in like the OG, like there's like, you see like the Pan Am like LED signs and stuff. And then you see this like
The lady.
the lady. Yeah.
And she's like really sexualized.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not
No.
being exoticized
Mm.
as characters, but that happens with Techno-Orientalism. There's actually kind of different stereotypes within Techno-Orientalism. Another one is that they're robotic.
Right. I
Okay.
see. Yeah.
I'm having an ADHD moment where I'm.
What's the title of this podcast again?
Neuro-Dive.
There you go.
Oh my god! I zoned out into something.
What did you zone
Wait,
in?
where were you?
Yeah, tell us
I
about
went
it.
into Blade Runner and I couldn't get out.
Oh my gosh, where in Blade Runner were you?
I'm jealous.
I was just I don't know. I literally was walking the streets. Like I sometimes like get really hyper fixated into my own world, and then I like laugh that I was.
You were in
You
Neo
were-
Tokyo.
I was.
Whoa.
Neo
I was
Los
walking.
Angeles.
I was that Asian person walking in Blade Runner. That I was like, oh, I'm
You were hiding.
Yeah, I
You
was
were
hiding, and I was like, they didn't get me. I was in Blade Runner, and then I laughed at myself thinking that. And then you two were on a whole different subject, and I started to like laugh This is what happens. I get off topic, but it's relevant, and I wasn't.
I love that
listening.
you actually detached.
I was,
And we
so
left you behind.
detached.
It's like
No,
we're
and then
playing.
you-
It's like we're playing Dungeons and
And then
Dragons,
you
and we
came
left you in the
back.
tavern.
Yeah, I
It's
came
crazy.
back.
We saw you like come back to life. Like you like literally escaped.
I did. I don't know what. I don't know. My brain does that. This is just normal ADHD tendencies. This is what I have to deal with every single day. And everyone's like, "Hey, Steph, are you there?"
Honestly, I'm the same way when it comes to like big groups of people. I just like go into like this listening mode and I like won't talk for a little bit. And then I'll just like kind of space out. Sometimes
Really?
when we're playing Magic the Gathering, like if we're talking about anything that isn't related to the game, I'll just like space out. So I get it. But
Yeah.
maybe I don't live
but-
in a city.
Yeah,
for
Steph
a
sounds
second.
really.
Yeah.
It was
live-
fun.
I was
Steph
totally
sounds way
in
more
the.
fun.
You were
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa!"
Astral projecting
I was.
into Neo Los Angeles,
Mhm.
which is so sick.
Mhm. I was like, "They're not. They didn't get me in the movie," is what I was thinking.
Well, and it's true. Like I just recently watched Blade Runner in theaters, which was really really sick.
Wait, the original?
The original,
the
one, they
director's
were-
cut?
They were showing it at the Academy
Nice.
Museum,
Oh, I love
Oh.
movies there.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
and yeah, like there isn't like an act. Well, actually, there's I think just one Asian character, and it was the doctor with like the eye who did the eyeball stuff. You remember that?
Okay, yeah, but
Oh.
that doctor, it's the classic like
Yeah.
Shanghai.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Right.
the Gremlins.
Racial
It's the Gremlin
stereotype.
stereotype.
Right.
Remember
No.
in the beginning in Gremlins,
Mhm.
Wait, what?
Oh.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
who sold the
Describe
little-
it. I
who
forgot.
sold Gizmo? It's again no, it's
No, no, no.
literally.
Oh my god,
it's-
you're right. Like wet market, like
yeah,
bullshit.
yeah. It was a rainy day
Yeah,
in this
in
like
the market,
really
yeah.
like brown market,
Mhm.
like
Right.
kind of like
So
Somebody
sketch.
smoking opium
bamboo,
somewhere.
like fucking interior, and then this
Yeah.
like old Asian dude sells this big fat white man the Gizmo, the Gremlin.
Yeah.
Remember?
It's
Yeah.
always the Asian's
It's
fault.
always.
But then, okay,
They
let's
need
talk
to.
about also the robotic part of it, though.
Remind me what
They're
cloud-
robots.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the idea that Asian people it's dehumanizing.
Mm-hmm.
They're seen as robotic.
Was there an Asian robot in Ex Machina?
Yes, yes,
Mm.
that is another one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there is one.
Yeah, and she
Besides
doesn't
the-
even get to speak.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't speak.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's why I had to even ask the question because the main robot wasn't Asian, the other one was.
yeah.
Right? Like the
Yeah.
big
She's literally just an object.
Yep. It's like the
Yeah.
fantasy, like the gaze for the male gaze, right?
Yeah, you just see her body. She
Mhm.
doesn't speak, and
Yeah.
she's programmed to just serve.
To be the Asian female stereotype of to be submissive and like
Mhm.
quiet and cater to the man,
the
cater
stere-
to
yeah,
you.
the
Yeah, so we get
stereotype.
we get this over sexualized robot, the over sexualized robot.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
The argument,
It's really, really bad.
The other bigot arguments like, well, at least you're a robot this time. It's different.
Ooh,
at
we
least
got
you're
bo-
cool.
It's that
Oh my
way? I don't know.
God. Oh, I don't
No,
know.
no.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like bigots would probably like think that, but
Oh.
No, I think they're like, where do I order?
Yeah, they're like
True.
express shipping from Japan.
Yeah. Okay, so for Techno-Orientalism, we talked about a lot of the stereotypes, and it seems really female
Mhm.
oriented, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I feel like a lot of these are stereotypes on female Asians.
Yeah, it's sexualizing and
Yeah, the hypersexualizing
Hyperse-
seems to be the most.
Mhm.
What do you think, Daniel?
well, you never see like okay, so like we were talking about 90 Day Fiancé earlier, right?
Yeah.
You never see like the inverse. You never see an Asian guy with a white woman
Mm.
in media that much. The last thing that I remember was that movie with Natalie Portman and that like young Asian guy that was a biopic about like that teacher who had an affair with like a young
Oh, May December.
May December.
Mm.
Yeah.
that was like the last thing that I saw that was sort
That
of
was really
like
good.
Yeah.
the inverse of like, oh, it's always like, for some reason the stereotype is always an Asian woman.
So we had multiple wars in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
the white GIs,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
brought Asian women home as wives.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like the latest White Lotus episode, Loser Back Home, LBS.
Oh,
The latest
Call,
White Lotus episode.
oh my god, there was like
season, the latest White Lotus season.
Oh my god, there
Which-
was like
where they go to Thailand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like
yeah.
the white older guys have this hot and
Yeah.
she's like, I know, but like, are you okay?
Yeah.
You can blink twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why are you with him?
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's crazy too, because even in May, December, it's like, it's a really good movie, but it
Yes.
was also like there is some sort of like negative connotation, or like the whole situation was just like,
Well, it was like it was pedophilia though, right?
yeah. But it was still like, it has to do with like, you know, almost like this white person has this like
Power.
power over this
That's
young
exactly
Asian boy.
what it is. Once
Yeah.
again, power.
It's like an object again. You know what
Right.
I
Oh
mean?
my god.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
you're
why
right.
that's why it came to mind.
Yeah, like
for
the
me.
one time we see it, it's
Unless
still...
like I totally get it wrong. Unless I'm like totally off topic or something.
No, I see that. Well, I'm just curious, like you as a person, like your personal experiences too.
For like,
Like if any of those stereotypes resonate with you,
what's stereotype?
that we've been talking about,
Like,
robotic, or this
Yeah.
idea that you're this hyper performing.
oh yeah. When I mean, like
Person.
when I was in high school, like people thought that I was going to be like a nurse.
Right.
That I thought I was
Oh,
really good
stereotypes.
as like hyper performing in like
Mhm.
science.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
math, right. And spoiler alert, I got a 2.0. I barely graduated high school.
You're like, I showed them.
I showed them they were wrong. And maybe, I don't know, maybe a part of it, like, you know, subconsciously was like, yeah, I didn't want to be that stereotype. What if I was like doing bad in school? What if I was that one Filipino who isn't going to be a nurse? Like, fuck science type shit.
Mhm.
Maybe I was thinking about that like as a teen subconsciously.
I think so. I just finished this book called Rejection. Really good. It's written by a Thai. Well, he's the child of Thai immigrants. And it's kind of like more incel. It's like a series of short stories of characters, and they're kind of incels. But towards the end, he talks about Crasians.
Whoa.
And
What is that?
a Crasian. It's like that every Asian American has so this goes into Auto-Orientalism. So Auto-Orientalism is this idea of performing Asianness.
Mhm.
So it starts to happen when you're Asian American.
Right.
So you don't it's like you lose context of identity, and you can lean into performing Asianness for white people, basically.
Oh my god.
And so there's this level of constant self-monitoring and conflict that happens, and you are looking for these different outlets of identity. And at some point, he talks about there being this Crasian that's like inside all of us, which is I'm just going to go
Crazy Asian?
fucking nuts and do the opposite of what anybody wants.
Yeah. So that's me being like,
That's
me being like, fuck you. I'm
Oh
going
my
to be a
God.
bad student.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's you like burning your science
Nurse
books
trope. Yeah.
and you know,
Failing biology.
doing drugs.
and
Yeah.
doing
I
drugs.
guess.
For me, I'm
And me
burning-
too.
yeah.
I did that.
Mhm.
I read it and I was like, oh, I was Crasian.
Yeah.
Like at 14.
Yeah. However, I did have that like moment of when I like you're a 94 baby.
Mhm.
So like we were going to like junior high and high school, and like the Jabberwockies was like a huge
Oh my
thing.
god.
Wait, what?
The
What
dance
is-
group.
Do you not know what the
No.
Jabberwockies
Oh
are?
my God.
Are you fucking
Oh.
kidding me?
I
Oh my god, they're like this. They're so sick. They're like
What?
the dance group, like breakdance group with like the mask on.
Yeah.
Oh, they're sick. Like they're everywhere.
And-
Really?
And a lot
Yeah.
of them were Filipino.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like when I was a freshman in high school and like 8th grade going into freshman year, like people thought that I'd be really good at breakdancing.
Oh shoot! No. No.
Like I remember like during like the club day, like when I was passing by the breakdance club, it was just a bunch of Filipinos and Koreans being like, "Yo, dude, what's your name? Like, we need you. You're probably really good."
That's
and I'm
true.
like, "No, dude, I smoke weed and I have asthma."
Wait, does smoking weed mean you can't breakdance? I thought
They probably do,
I
but
thought
like,
they
Yeah.
smoked
but you know,
weed.
I didn't put two. You know, at the time, I was like,
Okay.
I didn't put two and two.
You couldn't
together. I was just like,
multitask.
no, dude, I'm just like not good at. Like, I have asthma. I can't break dance.
Yeah.
But as a kid, there's
Wait
few
a
tricks
minute.
that I
It went from I smoke weed to I have
I have
asthma. Those
Yeah.
seem counter.
those were those were my two excuses like of me not being a good dancer.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, because
Your exasperated asthma.
fit.
You're like,
Yeah.
I have asthma and I smoke weed, so I,
I have
definitely
asthma and
can't
I'm
break
high.
dance.
You know. But like that was my example of being Cajun.
Cajun.
Cajun. What was your example of being Cajun?
Yeah. How are you Cajun?
I defied everything that was almost, I don't know if this is it, but I almost like lost touch of, I didn't want to be associated with my Asian culture at one point.
Honestly, same.
I feel so
Growing
bad
up-
to say that now.
Growing up in Santa Clarita,
Really?
I
Yeah.
I feel
like didn't like I was like because of like the rejection of like that girl
yeah.
who told me like, oh, I'm not dating you because you're Filipino. That on top of just living in a town that's predominantly white. And then like I definitely like lost complete like touch with my Filipino culture. I like didn't want I remember there's like birthdays that I didn't want karaoke. I didn't want Filipino food. I wanted Italian food. I wanted macaroni grill.
Mhm.
There's this like place called
Ooh.
Stonefire in Santa Clarita that had like Caesar salad and rotisserie chicken and like
You're like, I want
pasta.
white bread.
I want pesto pasta for my so I can impress
orzo.
like, yeah, and I even like my number one like regret is my grandma who like raised me pretty much. Like she would pack me like
Oh my god, we're
Oh,
gonna have the
no.
same.
She would,
We're
like-
gonna have the same
Oh.
story.
she would like pack me like spam
Oh.
for lunch and like Vienna sausage and rice and stuff. And like I would literally throw it away the second I got to school
Oh my
because
God,
I
we're-
was so embarrassed of how it smelled like.
Oh my god, we have this same exact story, and it hurt my heart to hear that you brought your grandma up, and I'm tearing up because I'm thinking about my grandma. I did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And of course it's Korean food's all the craze now, but back then it was like my grandma would pack it as well in like a
And you were
bento-ish
like
box.
like kimchi.
Yeah,
and
it's like on the top, and like of course it's sitting out, so it's gonna have this like pungent smell of like it's fermented. Of course,
stuff.
it's gonna smell.
Yeah.
And I remember like I released it, and like I remember just like the first reaction of sheer like embarrassment that you
Yeah.
feel when people are like, ew,
What's
what is
that
that smell?
Literally.
I mean, it
1000%.
smells really intense.
I
No,
know,
it
no,
is.
it does. No,
No,
it
it
does.
does.
Okay. Don't
It
get us
does.
wrong. It does.
It does for sure. But like nowadays, like people would be like, "Oh my god, that's so cool." BTS
Yeah.
eats that shit.
Yeah, it's
You know
true.
what
It's
I mean?
weird.
That's what's
People are
annoying.
like, ooh, give me some like kimchi.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what's annoying, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like Asian culture and like Asian food.
Like spam is cool now.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding
musubi,
me?
spam
Yeah,
musubi,
you
and
get
stuff.
beat up. You get
Yeah,
beat up
I-
if you open a can
Oh
of
my
I was
God.
like getting like so much comments and shit. And so like, yeah, I like that was like one of my regrets.
Yeah.
It's just really being, I don't know, like, yeah.
That
But-
is so interesting. Wait, so
Yeah.
neither of you felt or performed any sense like felt like you needed to or chose to perform Asianness in any way?
No, we reject. I feel
It
like
was- it was
for the
full
for what
rejection.
we were saying is like we're fully rejecting.
yeah,
it.
because I grew up, like, I like didn't, like, again, like, I didn't want to, there was a point in my life that I really didn't want to be, like, I didn't care about being Filipino.
Yep.
It was only until I went to college where, like, it was, more woke
Mhm.
and stuff. I went to art school. And yeah, it was like the first time I felt like I felt okay to look and be different.
Yeah.
Okay, but were you just yourself and you just were okay to be like, I guess, yourself? Or did you then say, well, maybe there's some parts of me that are Filipino in my culture that I want to express?
Like I felt like there was like some stuff that were like resurfacing.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
Like, for example, like I remember in college, like people were doing karaoke parties. And I was like, whoa, like this is like, this could be cool. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like that was like a huge thing that I started to do again, was like karaoke, not being embarrassed about Filipino food, bringing it to school, because I like lived with my family in college. And people thought that it was really good and like didn't give a shit about the smell and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward, even now, like I was working at Lasita, the Filipino restaurant in Chinatown, and that really brought me back. Oh. That really, it was like I like fully I'm so grateful to be Filipino.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it was, the big part of it was working at that restaurant.
Yeah.
The parties, the food, the culture, the families. And also, that on top of like going back to the Philippines for the first time in like 9 years, like I felt so at home. When I was a kid, when I used to visit the Philippines a lot, like I'd think that it's kind of boring. Whereas like, you know, we're the white people, right. Whenever I'd see it, want to be like, oh, like this place must be cool. Now I'm like, I don't want to see any of you.
Yeah, it's like, go away.
Go away.
Stop colonizing our home.
Yeah, no, exactly. Actually, keep coming because you're giving money to people.
Yeah, just kidding. Keep coming.
Yeah.
And you leave your monies with you.
Yeah, so I think I can say for the both of us that we were full-time Caucasians as like teenagers.
Absolutely. I think that was like a full-time job, is like wearing Abercrombie and like dyeing your hair and pretending like you're anything but, you know, having like the emo like haircut that like swoops all the way the front bang. Yeah. That's like everyone was like, listen to like everything, but like I had this double life like Hannah Montana, but like I had at home, I would listen to like K-pop and watch Korean dramas because I needed representation, and that was the only representation I had back in the day. So I was like secretly watching it at home, but then that like, you know, at school I was like all up in like Paramore and like Fall Out Boy and like emo whatever, which is
still cool.
I mean, I love it.
But
don't get
nowadays
me wrong.
It's like if you don't know who BTS
I know, disgrace. Like you're being yelled at.
Like now, it's really cool. Like now we have like 88 Rising, like the festival, Head in the Clouds or
Head
something.
in the Clouds. Oh,
like,
love it.
Are you like that back in the day? Like
didn't exist.
You know what Head in the Clouds is? Benzie?
No.
I think that it's like a record label, 88 Rising, and it's predominantly like Asian artists, like R&B artists.
Do you know Stray Kids?
Stray Kids. Is that
it's a K-pop band.
Ooh.
Okay, that's what I thought. My mom's gonna get mad at me. She loves K-pop and she talks about it all the time. So she's gonna get mad.
I had production design one of their music videos.
Oh damn!
Yeah, years ago before they went off.
That's crazy.
Oh
yeah.
Shoot. Oh okay.
Their
secret life.
Yeah.
Okay, Hannah Montana.
I know, literally Hannah
Montana. They're fucking amazing. They're so kind. It's like really, I got to have that experience where you see the different culture and that they're just different, right? They're bred and raised and trained differently than pop stars here.
Wow.
You know, they walk around and they're just full of gratitude, super kind. They sit with everybody else.
Yeah.
It's really it's like beyond anything I'd ever seen before. It was really amazing.
No, that's really sick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But like, like they didn't. K-pop and like music, like Asian music, was not cool back in the day.
There was nothing about being Asian that was cool.
No. Are you fucking like now? Anime is just cool.
Yeah.
It's normal. I'm on like dating. I'm seeing dating profiles that girls who are like very attractive, and then they mention anime, and I'm like, what? The fuck?
Yeah, because remember Anime Expo was like, you're not like part of the
Oh,
cool
yeah.
club if you're going to Anime
No.
Expo.
Are
Yeah,
you-
you were
Yeah, if you
blacklisted
were,
If I
like-
socially.
mentioned
Yeah.
that I liked anime in high school, are you fucking kidding me?
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
My like rep,
Yeah.
quote unquote, is like would be no.
I know.
No.
No, I know.
Now it's
You know what's
normal.
it honestly
It's cool to like anime. Fuck you, kids.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Also the goth stuff too. That's weird.
Yeah.
And even like the clothing. I remember one time I did one of those Uber carpool things, and this person came in and she had all black leather jacket, the whole get up. She looked like total
Wow.
death rocker. And I was like, oh, sick. Like something, this band. And
And they're
she was
like,
like,
no.
oh my God, what are you talking about? I was like, what the fuck?
No, it's just like there's
I was
a
like,
lot of
I thought you were
yeah.
goth or something.
No,
What's happening?
It's just
She's like, oh, get away from me. I was
sometimes
like, you're a
I think-
sorority girl. What's
yeah,
happening?
like nowadays it's just like it's all because of the socials.
Yeah,
like
TikTok.
Yeah.
and
It's
whatever.
just
If
everything's
you're-
the uniform you could put on.
before it was like if you have tattoos or whatever, it's very like counterculture. Now it's
Right.
like almost the
Everyone.
opposite. If you don't have any tattoos,
Mhm.
then you're very like you're counterculture because
Yeah.
it's like normal to have tattoos now.
Mhm.
And it's like before, oh, you have tattoos, like, oh, you must like Nirvana or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or you
Like-
must like freaking, like whatever. Like just like counterculture music. And now if you have tattoos, it's like, oh, like, do you go to Erewhon?
Yeah.
It's like it's totally normal.
I had such a different experience from you two. I grew up in Texas with no other Asians.
Mhm.
There was an Asian community, right? There's like a stronger Vietnamese community, but they were kind of in a suburb and I never saw them. And then there was
Mhm.
a Korean community, another suburb that I didn't really see until I got older. And they basically adopted me. I mean, I didn't have anywhere to go. I hated
Mhm.
not belonging. I
Yeah.
Mhm.
really, and everyone treated me Asian, right?
Right.
So whether I liked it or not, I was being treated like an Asian person.
You like
Right.
were
Mhm.
performing already, like on the spot.
I mean, I was
Without even knowing.
I was just presenting as
Yeah.
Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't know where to draw from. I was like, I need material, right? I wanted to fit in with what I was being told I should be.
Mhm.
So yeah, I felt pressured and I performed. Interesting enough, I performed an Korean version for a moment of my life.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I hung out with Korean people
Mhm.
and I started working at a Korean restaurant and I became assimilated into Korean
Oh my
culture.
God. That's why I thought that's why I thought you were Korean when I first met you. That's why I asked if you were Korean.
Really?
Remember?
Yeah, you did. You
I
did.
did. I was like, "Oh, are you? You look Korean." And you're like, "No, I'm not Korean." I was like, "Oh,
It's also if I get around
Strange.
Korean people, it snaps on.
oh, that's
Yeah.
what it was."
I will. Yes, I can. Yes, It like it's
that makes
impressed
sense.
in me forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know how to behave. I
I
don't know.
Yeah.
else to-
Wow.
yeah.
Call out the culture.
You have to.
Ouch.
You have to like. It's crazy.
You do have to behave. It's
Yeah.
so weird. I'm like, ouch, triggered by it. Like, behave. It's so real.
But I kind of love it.
I mean, for your
as
brain,
an autistic
yeah.
person.
For your brain, it works.
Yeah,
But
as
for
an au-
my brain, no.
yeah, you're as an ADHD person.
Structure and like like whatever
Yeah.
and stay in and like listen to the rules and stay in line. I'm like, I hate it. Everything about it. It makes me flinch.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's really intense.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then it got so intense that I started like boba, and I honestly like I embraced. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so Asian. Like I went
Aw.
into the Asian stereotype of what
Mhm.
it was to be Asian.
Yeah, I feel like I'm now getting into like being okay even with the Filipino stereotype if I'm ever you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
like I'm so okay with looking Filipino
Mhm.
or dressing like
I feel like that's authentic to where you're from, though. For me, it was playing into it, kind of a Western view of what the
yeah.
expectation of,
No, that-
of being Asian was.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, that's
You
what
know?
I'm saying. It's like I brought it up because it's very like polar opposite.
Yes,
like, you
exactly.
were doing it, like I'm now like tapping into it.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
So interesting.
I just don't. I feel like for me, it's really tough. I don't connect. Now I'm like where you were, where I don't connect with being Asian at all.
So it's like the reversal Asian, Crasian, whatever. Now you're just
No, now I'm Cajun.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah, now you're
exactly.
Cajun.
Like,
Sorry.
now you're Cajun, which is no, exactly. And this is like we're like you and I are like on the same like
oh my god, exact
like
timeline of-
timeline
Mhm.
and like like this the seesaw or whatever. Like you're on the Cajun side now,
Wow.
and like we're not in the Cajun side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty Cajun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whereas like then you weren't in the Cajun side and we were.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even when I was a kid, I was like numbers challenge, math Olympiad.
Yeah, I was not. that.
Wow.
Are you
No,
kidding me?
I was not that. Ooh, my
There was like this
God.
one time where this
I built robots.
literally like
No.
that's so sick.
I have an engineering
Wow.
degree.
Yeah, that's true.
I
You
did.
did. You're kind of the token Asian. If
Yeah,
you
are you fucking kidding me? Like my family would have been
Yeah,
like
they
so
would have been
stoked.
so excited. Like, our kid is so
has an
successful.
engineering degree.
Ah.
Well, then I threw it away and I was like, I'm going to do film.
There you go.
And then I went
that's-
Cajun.
You went
crazy.
Cajun. Yeah, you went
Oh,
Cajun.
Cajun
I did.
for us is going to art school.
No, it's true.
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, you both did
1000%.
that.
Oh, yeah, we did. Oh my god. Okay, when you told your family you're gonna go to art school,
Oh, you
what
wanna
was
kn-
their?
you
Okay,
wanna
okay,
know my
let's share
story?
reaction. Let's go in. Yeah.
I applied to Cal Arts without telling my family.
Oh, wow.
I was taking music classes in my community college without telling my family.
Wow.
Secretly taking music.
Yeah, so I
classes.
failed biology 101 3 times during community college. And then at that point I was like, all right, I can't do this. As much as I wanted to try,
Yeah.
I just like couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So then I took music classes without taking my family. And then my older brother's friend was like, hey, you should apply to Cal Arts. I think you'd get in. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like my family's going to allow me to go. It's so expensive. I'm going to be in debt. And they were just like, just do it anyways. Like, what's your other option? I'm like, I don't fucking know. So then I like paid for the application. I applied. And then, part of me was like, I hope I don't get in because it will stir up some shit. And then one night, my like mom hears me scream in my room, like with so much excitement. Yeah, I told them that I got in, and it was a very like, it wasn't like, oh wow, that's amazing, congratulations. It was more so like, wow, what now? And I'm like, I don't care if I'm gonna be in debt. I want to go. And at the time, my uncle was very hesitant just because of the money and like also just being a music major. And it's funny because now he's like so happy that I went.
Wow.
My graduation recital, he loves horror movies more
Yeah.
than I do. And during after my graduation recital, which I like performed like 2 pieces that were like 15 minutes long, he comes up to me and was like, it sounded like a horror movie. That's amazing. You made this? I was like, yeah, I made it. And he was just like, wow. And that was like one of the first times
so cute.
like my
Yeah.
uncle was like, holy fucking shit. Like that's really cool. And now my uncle and I are like best homies,
I love that story.
But at the
That's
time,
great.
at the time it
That
was
was a huge
it
no.
was like,
Crazy.
yeah, it was not fun.
But you know what's interesting is in my family, because I'm mixed, my mom is the white person. Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Yeah, my mom is
That's
my
the shocker.
mom is white.
That's what I'm saying. See, our reaction says it all. That never,
Exactly.
it's not as like stereotypical.
Mhm.
When I dated, like my most recent ex, like she was white and we dated for like 6.5 years.
Wow.
And it was such a crazy reaction whenever I brought her to like family
Yeah.
parties and stuff. They're like,
Wow.
what? Oh my God. Like, wow. Like you have to get married now. It was crazy.
Oh my god, what?
It was
Yeah.
so like, and people just like people who didn't know us or whatever, like didn't like really believe it. It was like weird,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Wait, what was your
my reaction.
your college art school
Yeah. Well,
parents' reaction?
as the child that wasn't stereotypically like Asian smart, right? My GPA was like 3.0.
What the fuck? My family would have been so
Oh
smart.
really? Oh my gosh.
That's how
And
bad.
You're being so Asian right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
My GPA as a failure child with a 3.0 GPA.
I mean,
bro, I had a 1.9 or a 2.0 in high school.
Well, I think my school was such a competitive like school, and I was considered not as smart because everyone
high
else
school?
was because everyone was just like up here, and they were all like, I'm gonna go to, it's like all the Ivies they're
I see.
entering, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go to art school, but I didn't say that initially because I thought this was before I realized I was gonna go to art school. I was trying to find my way, and my GPA was so low, and my SAT score was just so low. I think my option was I had to go to the community college, or my dad was like, go to the military, and I was like, are you
my
kidding?
God.
My dad seriously said, just go to the military, they're gonna pay for your college and whatever. And I mean, if I ask him now, he's probably gonna be like, I never said that to you.
Yeah, of course.
I almost
Love you,
did
Dad.
it.
But oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was a computer science
Oh.
major.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
But go on.
Oh wait, well, not that it's a bad thing, but to me that was not an option because I'm so
for sure.
I'm so challenged when it comes to being athletic is what I realized. But because I'm not an athletic person, and I was a bench warmer all throughout high school. So
But you can push papers and stuff. There's military jobs where you just
I guess I could do that, but
Yeah.
that wasn't part of my agenda.
Right, but you didn't want to go.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay, I'm
I
sorry.
didn't want to go, and my dad was pushing that as an option, and it was either community college or military school, and I was like, no, I don't want to do either. And I really like art, but I didn't think it was an option to pursue art because
Right.
if your entire family is always saying doctor, lawyer,
Starving artist.
it
you
wasn't
know,
an wasn't an
type
op-
thing.
yeah. And any form of artist was you're going to starve and you're going to have financial issues and you're going to be poor forever. I mean, they're not wrong right now, I guess, but
But you love it.
Yeah, I love it.
You love your work.
Exactly. And it was such a challenge because I remember adamantly being like, you know what, I'm gonna pursue art and that's what I'm gonna do. And regardless of whether or not you guys want me to do this, I'm just gonna do it. Like there's no other option.
Yeah. So, so we were talking about Orientalism, and there's Techno-Orientalism, Auto-Orientalism. We've kind of really explored the different ways that manifests. But what about countering those concepts, right? How are we able to move past that? And for me, when I think about that, a really good example would be Beef season 1.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So when I saw Beef season 1, which I actually got to work on a little bit, which was really cool.
Nice.
When I saw that, and when I got to be a part of it, it meant a lot to me. You get to see Asian characters just being people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like my ultimate, they're Cajun.
Yep.
And it was like my ultimate Cajun fantasy happening out on TV.
Yeah.
Like real representation where no one's a stereotype. It's not a monolith. They're not foreigners.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
American. They're Asian American, and they're just people, and they're all living different lives.
No, yeah, Beef was great.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Crazy Rich Asians.
I
I loved it.
Crazy Rich
Oh my
Asians.
gosh,
I
yes.
mean, but I was the poor Asian.
I was
Yeah.
What
too.
about Crazy Poor Asians?
Yeah.
I was
But you liked it?
Yeah.
I felt so left out.
Oh, that was definitely a conversation I remember having with people being like, wait, what about the poor Asians?
Yeah.
Where are we at
Yeah.
in this story?
Yeah, but
That's how okay.
my little, not in response. My response to that though is like,
Okay, I'm
But
gonna
is-
counter.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm putting on the stack. I'm just kidding.
okay,
These are
okay.
Magic the Gathering
These are,
references,
yeah,
by the
MTG
way.
references,
no
like
idea.
in response.
Oops.
Wait, so do I have priority?
Okay, yes,
You
I give
pass
you
priority.
priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't it cool though, seeing like really successful Asians on screen in mainstream media rather than it being white all the time?
Fair.
No, because there are other super. It's like the model minority. myth
Oh,
or something,
right.
Okay, yeah.
I want to see Steven Yeun eating 5 hamburgers, crying on it outside
Yeah,
the truck.
yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I think it's different,
Mhm.
but I do think that I don't know. I personally like Crazy Rich Asians.
No,
like it.
it's
Me
well
too.
made.
It's
Look,
really
hey
good.
guys.
Yeah, don't get it.
No,
don't
it's
get
a
fancy
well-made
wrong. Yeah.
film. It's a
Yeah.
good movie, but personally, I didn't connect to it.
Of course.
Of course.
Personally,
Of
I
course.
felt kind of bad.
None of
Yeah.
us are
Watching it.
crazy rich
No.
Asians, you know?
Yeah, I felt left out. I was
Yeah.
like,
I
man,
mean, yeah.
what the fuck? I was a poor
Mhm.
refugee Asian.
I obviously like I
Mm.
am not partying like that. My family didn't, but
I feel like it also had to kind of, since it was one of the first movies that were all Asian cast, I think we
Very
had
true.
to we had to cater to an audience. I think that's not so far from.
So is that Auto-Orientalism?
ooh.
Was Crazy Rich Asians
I think-
Auto-Orientalism?
I think I want to say possibly
Ooh, yeah, I'm feeling
because
like it is.
yeah, because it's a step towards becoming an all Asian cast with just Asian stories. This is that, but with a little bit of a lens, so it's not completely just 100%. I don't know. It's really hard because I think if we just went all the way to beef all of a sudden without Crazy Rich Asians, I think that's such a step that we weren't ready for.
I see.
Oh, that's
Does that
really
make sense?
interesting.
That's
Yeah, you
interesting,
feel like
yeah.
Crazy Rich Asians
Like
actually
paved
was
the
like a
way.
stepping
yeah,
stone.
Mhm.
stepping stone for people to. It was like a primer for people
Yep.
to.
To take
To
in
take-
Asianness
Yeah.
in general
Yeah,
and accept
yeah,
it as
Yeah.
we don't even have to address it now because it's so normal to see Asian people on screen. First, we
Yeah.
have to establish that,
Yeah.
and then we don't even have to address it at all with beef because it's so we've seen Asian faces on screen like this. So
Yeah.
let's not. We don't have to even address it anymore.
But it's so it's interesting to me because I got really into foreign cinema when I was in college. When I was younger, I was in college for a long time.
Same.
And it's an undergrad for like 8 years. And I worked in the fine arts library and stuff, and I was really into foreign cinema. And there's so much cinema that's Asian,
Of course.
right? Like
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
Korean cinema,
Yeah.
Japanese cinema, Chinese cinema.
Yeah.
So I had already a pretty deep appreciation.
It was normal to you.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like I already, and so it was interesting to me that people are like, I just feel like it's a very Asian American thing, and that never gets looped in, like the hyphenate, right? It's we still talk about it as Asian, and I'm like, well, Asia, they have lots of movies.
Yeah.
It's really Asian American that we're missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was weird because I
It's-
think
yeah.
Crazy Rich Asians was like this weird gap where you're right, it had to be a primer.
It was like the bridge.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then you have like movies like Parasite,
Right.
Mhm.
right? Which is also like
But that was just straight Korean.
Yeah.
a wonderful movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
masterful.
Of course. But it was like it penetrated like the
The-
American like film media
Mhm.
like
But didn't it just do that because it was just so good?
Yes. but-
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like
But it
that
was
just-
fully Korean. Like they didn't.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I just brought it up because that was like another example of like a really good, movie. B, people there weren't any stereotypes in that. And C, like I think Parasite also like helped people who weren't into like Korean films or foreign
Mhm.
films kind of like dive into the discography of director. I'm blanking.
Ye-
Bong Joon, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, even before Parasite, he has such a large discography of
Yeah,
films.
yeah,
I
exactly.
watched him growing up as a kid. Like I loved his movies,
And
his-
now it's like really cool.
right to watch his movie.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I've been watching like he had like a 2006 movie in Korea that was like super super big, and it was a scary movie with like a monster in the ocean thing.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh,
Host.
Yeah,
Toast.
I need to
So
watch it.
fucking
Oh my god,
good.
it was so good. I remember
Yeah.
being
Host
ter-
is so good.
That was the biggest craze in Asia. Like it broke blockbusters like all throughout Asia. I remember it being a huge success, and no one knew what it was here It didn't even enter our market ever.
I mean, that's so. See, I watched it.
I watched it.
Of course,
yeah,
because you're
you-
cool.
You were versed in cinema.
Yeah, you're
Your
flying
culture.
arts
But it wasn't cool
library.
back then.
No,
Yeah,
it was
no.
absolutely
I
not.
was so lame back then.
It
No
was.
one
No one gave a.
Gave a shit
Yeah.
about like fucking Wong Kar-wai or
Yeah.
like
Yeah, nobody. And
Akira
now,
Kurosawa, and now
yeah.
that shit's playing in vidiots.
huh.
You know, like it's
Yeah.
playing in like a lot of people
So interesting.
love it now. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
it's like an Instagram filter.
yeah,
A Wong
sure.
Kar-wai
No,
Instagram
no,
filter.
Did you watch Dee Dee, that movie?
Yes.
Oh
No.
my god!
Wonderful movie.
Ooh, that was
I-
one of the best movies
'cause
I've seen in a
I
while.
think that was like during our time. Like
yeah,
I think like,
literally
when we
during
were
our
growing
time.
up
Yeah. When
with
the-
AIM and like
like the music that they were playing, I was
the
like,
music.
oh,
that was literally
so
I
mhm.
was crying because that
I
was
cried
me.
too.
Oh my
I
God,
was like
I
this
thought I was the
little
only
like
one that
bowl
cried.
cut Asian boy who wanted
Shut
to
up.
have this white girlfriend or whatever,
Oh.
and who also wanted to skate
Yeah.
and all of that shit.
I wasn't even an Asian boy, but I felt like like I felt like so I felt so relatable. I didn't even need to be a boy to know like get
Get what
get
he was
what he was feeling.
Yeah.
I feel it's funny. I just have such a different perspective. I'm like the opposite.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have a lunchbox full of Asian food.
Spam.
Yeah.
Spam,
and
yeah.
kimchi.
Yeah. And it honestly,
the
I would
thing,
have
though,
loved to
like,
have an
I-
Asian mom.
I like
I
wanted.
had a white mom. Everybody was
Mm.
like, "What's wrong with you? Like, you don't make sense."
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's really fucking
Wow.
tough.
Yeah. I wanted what y'all had. I
Like
wanted
at,
that.
at least like I don't know if I can say this for the both of us, but like we had like a definitive thing,
Mhm.
whereas like it seems like for you were like trying to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, I had
It
no,
was very
no-
like gray, like the gray area.
Oh,
There
wow.
wasn't like a black and white sort of like situation.
No, I looked at my parents and I'm like, okay, I have a Mexican stepdad and a white mom with freckles and red hair.
Mm.
And I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I have hot Cheetos and Sprite for lunch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to have an Asian mom.
You wanted like
that made
almost that
me-
stereotype.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually fantasized about it. Like I
Yeah.
wanted
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like now the closest thing I have is that I don't like socks. I feel like that's the only stereotypical Asian thing that I really
Is
just,
that a thing?
stereotype?
yeah, for Southeast
Really?
Asians.
What?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Just all sandals all day.
I mean,
no socks.
I knew.
Yeah, we hate socks.
I guess it's because it's like hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love wearing socks.
I love.
Yeah, but you're not Southeast Asian.
True.
But also it's just a
Am I
stereotype.
Southeast?
You're not Southeast Asian.
Okay, it's what's
But Filipino people also
we
love
love slides and
sandals.
sandals.
Yeah.
I'm literally wearing like
Mm.
I'm wearing.
You
people
have
can't
them on
see,
right
but
now?
I have.
You
yeah,
have them on right now.
I have like some mules going.
Okay,
on.
let it be known.
Then I have these Nike mules.
He's literally like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." While I have my slides on right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what's also being normalized?
Oh, but you're wearing
And-
socks with them.
I'm wearing socks with it. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what's being normalized though? For that I've been to like houses and apartments of like my white friends and stuff. Slides and like slippers inside the house. No
Oh.
shoes.
Oh,
Yeah. Because it's
That shit's being
smarter.
that shit's being normalized now.
Yeah, it's just the right way.
That was just like all of Asia's like we've been on that
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, before it was like whenever I take off my shoes growing up, they'd be
Yeah.
like, "Why are you taking
Oh,
off your shoes?"
Oh my god, yeah, same.
And I'm like, "Cause it's fucking dirty."
Yeah.
And then like for a while in high school, I always kept my shoes on.
Yeah, same.
And then now people are onto it now.
Oh my god, now they're like, can you take your shoes off?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm like, I said that
win.
first. I said it first.
I can't win with this. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I swear growing up, we were like, please keep them on. And so
Oh,
I remember
Keep your anime at the door. Keep your shoes on.
Yeah.
Oh wait, nowadays it's
Nowadays,
like, oh,
it's
you
like,
don't like
what?
anime? Are you fucking weird?
But is this a Los Angeles experience? Do you think if you were in
Ooh.
Nebraska,
Oh, of course. It'll
they
be
would be
different.
like,
absolutely
leave your
different.
shoes at the door? I don't
No.
know. I mean,
No, I
and,
don't know. I can't
Instagram's really, culture's
Yeah,
really
TikTok
homogenizing now.
And Instagram. Yeah.
We can't speak for the
I
younger
wonder.
folk, but I think it might be, I want to say it's a younger generation thing, but
Yeah, when I say my friends, I mean like literally like my
Yeah.
30-year-old, 20-year-old
Mhm.
friends.
We can't say it for the older people, but we can.
I bet they're doing it in Nebraska.
You know what?
I bet they are.
I'd like to think so.
I want to believe
I
so.
want to believe that.
I want to believe
Mhm.
if you're in Nebraska,
Listening to
yeah,
K-pop.
if you're listening
leave
to
it in the
this
comments.
and you're in
No, right?
Nebraska.
Yeah.
And blast your favorite K-pop group.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Do you wear slides or slippers inside your house? Leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's let Inky say goodbye to everyone. Inky, what did we learn today?
Oh my god. That's a really funny
Inky,
story.
that's true. You're absolutely correct.
That's all Inky has to
Wow.
say.
Yeah, that's the
That's
perfect
enough.
outro, honestly.
He dropped the mic.
Yeah.
Okay. That was it. We're done.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Well, we have to say thank you, Dan, for coming on to the.
Oh, yeah. Thank
Oh,
you so
yeah.
much, Daniel
Yeah, no,
Chavez Crook.
It was so much fun.
All right, Daniel, where can we find you on the socials?
Oh, okay. I think so. I have it as stfrancis.la because that's like my artist name. I haven't made music for a while. Hopefully, it's coming out at like the end of the year.
Ooh.
So it's st and then francis.la, and then I started a TikTok recently.
You have a
I have a
TikTok?
TikTok. Yeah, this is like my first time like coming out of the
The TikTok closet?
And it's
the debut.
yeah, it's called I think it's Ian Curtis 666. It's a play off of Ian Curtis from Joy Division. So yeah, you can follow me for my shit posting on TikTok.
Sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Oh, and I also have a letterbox. Do y'all like Letterboxd?
Letterbox.
Ian Curtis. It's the same thing without the 666. So yeah. Yeah, it's
Sick.
been fun. Thank you for having me. And Inky has been a great producer and director.
Oh.
Yes, we give
Yes.
my cat Inky all of that credit.
Mhm.
And then you put Inky's meow right there.